And what is up, awesome people? So in today's video, we're going to look at putting a DJI O4 Air unit into any flight controller. Also do note that this will only work for Betaflight 4.5 and above. Here I have the crazy F411 ELRS, and the reason I chose this specific flight controller is because this flight controller has only two available UART, and one of them is used by the receiver and the other is used by the VTX. This was originally an analog flight controller, but what's most important is that we need the RX and the TX. Now on the O4 Lite or O4 Air unit, it has 6 wires. One is for the S-Bus, and that is specifically for the DJI radio, and a ground wire, that would be the yellow and the black wire on the right hand side, an RX and a TX, ground and VCC. Now unless you're using a DJI radio, you don't really need the S-Bus wire right there and the ground. So what we're going to do is we're going to take an X-Acto knife and we're going to deepin these 2 wires, and we're just going to flip the tab that's holding on to the wire. Do be careful when you're doing this because the tab might accidentally break. Once that is done, you should be left with these 4 wires, the VCC, ground, RX and TX. Next, you're going to identify your flight controller. Just make sure that you have a spare UART, which is an RX and a TX. In this sense, I'm using the crazy F411 ELRS, so the only available TX and RX are TX1 and RX1. Do note that the DJI RX goes into the flight controller's TX and the DJI TX goes into the flight controller's RX. Also note that the O4 Lite takes up to only 3S LiPo. So in this sense, I've actually wired it to a 5V power source. Some of you may be thinking it should be wired into a 9V source, but I do not have 9V, and 5V has worked for me in the past and it has not had any problems so far, so I'm just going to stick with the 5V. Or another alternative is that you could wire the VTX onto the pigtail of your flight controller if it is a flight controller of 3S or 2S. Once that is done, power up your goggles and check if it's working. If it's not, then just swap the RX and TX wires because some flight controllers may have been misprinted. I apologize for the darkness of the camera because I had my ND filters on. But if you do not see an OSD, then there's a couple of things that you need to do before you get that OSD on your screen. The first thing you're going to do is plug your flight controller into Betaflight, and in the ports tab, you are going to change the specific UART that is wired to your VTX, and in your peripherals you're going to choose MSP plus display port. Next, on the OSD tab on the right side under video format, you're going to choose HD. Now there is a chance that it might not work and you might not have OSD. To fix this, go into the CLI tab on Betaflight and type set space OSD underscore displayport underscore device space equals MSP. Click enter and type save and click enter. Power up your quad and your goggles and everything should be displayed. Now if the alignment is a little off like mine, all you need to do is just make the adjustments as you look at the goggles and just set it the way you want it to be set. Well, that is it for today's video. I hope that you find this information useful, and if you do, please do give a like and subscribe. Till the next one, thank you all for watching and see you guys again soon. Ciao!